Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well. I hope you're all doing fantastic and that you're all having a great day. Likes are always appreciated. Leave a like on the video. It helps out the channel, it helps out the algorithm, and it is free. And without any further ado, let's jump right into it. As always, I mean, you know, at least it's rip-roaring back in the recent. We have a lot of optimism within the cryptocurrency space. We tend to have some days in the every now and again where people are a little less optimistic than they previously were before. However, today's not one of those days. This is a relatively, I don't want to use the word happy, but you know, is better than most economist. His name is Timothy Peterson. Made a bold prediction regarding the future price of Bitcoin. According to Peterson, he said Bitcoin's price is directly and exponentially proportional to the square root of the number of halvings Bitcoin has undergone. A combination of adoption curve math and Metcalfe's law. He says this will give us a Bitcoin price well above $500,000 by the next halving in 2028. A lot of the numbers that we're getting, if you have been watching the last couple of videos, thank you very much. If you've missed the last couple of videos, we're hearing a lot of where Bitcoin's going to go, how high Bitcoin is going to go, like these kind of projections over the course of the next couple of years. I'm not talking about the really wild and wacky 2045 and 2050 Bitcoin price predictions we had like 10 days ago. Those were like, I mean, let us get to 100K first and then we can talk about a $23 million Bitcoin. But everyone's kind of matching in their numbers. We're getting the pendulum once again swinging back and forth between the $200,000 to a $400,000 Bitcoin by 2025. However, we're also receiving a lot of this Bitcoin bull run might not end kind of ideas. Not that we're going to completely be ripping and roaring upwards continuously, is that there might end up being a lull period towards the end of 2025 where prices trend sideways for a bit. People try to take profit. They sell off their coins. These coins are gobbled up by whales. And then the price slowly, continuously moves up until we actually get to the next bull run. There are not a lot of Bitcoin left. I mean, I shouldn't have to reiterate that every single time. I'm pretty sure that you get the idea. We have been receiving a lot of news from Sentiment and Into the Block and these other on-chain analytics companies that a lot of the wallet addresses considered whales and or only buy addresses have kind of reactivated, or they have simply like upped their purchasing more than we've seen in the last couple of years. A lot of the buy only addresses are buying a lot more Bitcoin. So sometimes in the news there tends to be Bitcoin's price dropped by 3%. It must be because of the outflows from the ETFs. And I don't bring you the odd and the even news. So I'm not bringing you there was a $43 million outflow from the Bitcoin ETFs. And I'm also not bringing you in the same exact time that there was $128 million worth of whale purchases, because it seems lightly redundant. We've gone over that so many times on this channel. It's been years, even before the ETFs. If there was ever a situation where even before the ETFs, if we saw that Bitcoin's price had dropped a bit, usually in the news as well, it was that whale accumulation had strengthened, or that a lot of these addresses who have only been buying, their amount of Bitcoin went up. The conclusion is that these people must have been buying over the counter, and therefore, you know, Bitcoin's price goes down, they're able to buy at a much lower price. So there's a lot of speculation as to what this cycle is going to be, what it's going to bring, exactly where prices are going to go. If we end up even seeing a massive drop in price at the end of the cycle or if prices continue to go up. He's estimating that $500,000 Bitcoin by the time we get to the next halving, which would be absolutely insane, because typically at that point, you still then have a year and a half of the like hyper upward momentum. According to Peterson, this translates into an annual rate of return of approximately 70%. If you've ever seen the charts, if you pull Bitcoin straight out, not all the little zigzags up and down and all these other things, Bitcoin is one of the, if not the, if you go for 10 to 15 years, Bitcoin is the best performing asset ever. But we're also now seeing an annual return rate of 70%. If you look past the dips that we've had in the market, same exact way. Once again, if you look at the returns of the stock market. Peterson also predicted that Bitcoin should be, here we go, that Bitcoin should be sustainably above $1 million per coin, approximately 450 days after the 2028 halving. Why does this sound familiar? Because it's what Cathie Wood said. It's what I think Novogratz said. It's also what this guy's name, the other really eccentric guy who used to work for, well, actually the guy who works for Blockstream and the other guy who used to work for Blockstream. Can't remember his name right now. You might remember. Even if you don't, they all predicted an $800,000 to $1 million Bitcoin by 2029. The idea basically being is that what we're witnessing right now, there's another, and I don't have the article here. There was another guy who said about 2 days ago, he said we're not bullish enough. Now I'm going to give you my thoughts. His idea was that there's so much happening within the Bitcoin space, within the cryptocurrency space, the attention that we're getting to the market, the amount of money that's being pushed into the market, irrespective of what the ETFs might be doing on any given day. The problem, and I say problem lightly, the problem is that the average everyday person isn't paying attention to, they should be, but they're not paying attention to Bitcoin's metrics. How much money is flowing through the market? How much this is happening in a day? How many new wallet addresses? We've gone over these things before. They're not popular. They should be, because it shows how healthy and strong Bitcoin actually is. The everyday average person is only paying attention to the price, which is a big mistake. You should be paying attention to multiple other things, but the everyday average person is only looking at the price. If the prices aren't reacting to good news, people aren't going to be putting their good money into the market. It's just the way that things are going. We had news before about the potential for interest rate cuts, and Bitcoin's price fell. We had news that something else good was happening. Bitcoin's price also fell. About 10 days ago, maybe even 10 weeks, 2 weeks at this point, we had news that retail investors are not like falling back into the market, which is typically what happens around this time of the cycle. Around 100 days, 3 months or so after the halving has taken place, we tend to organically see tons of people re-entering back into the market as prices are moving. If prices don't move, these people are not going to get back into the market. It's just clear logic. So he was like, I don't understand how people aren't more bullish. And it's like, well, because prices aren't moving. We've had a cascade, a darn near avalanche daily of really good Bitcoin news and accumulation and whales and active addresses and new people into the market and how much money is flowing through it. We had news maybe 5 days ago. I can't remember the name of the company. Something weird and crypto-y, who announced that they had purchased $100 million worth of Bitcoin, like put it onto their balance sheet. For those of you who don't remember, it takes $30 million to buy the entire day's supply of Bitcoin. This company announced, we just bought spot. In some days, worth of the amount of Bitcoin that would have been mined in one day, the price didn't react. We keep hearing from the ETF issuers, there's 128 million flowing into the ETFs, 220 something million. No one reacts. The prices don't react. I think that there are a lot of people, and I see the clamor, if you will, on Twitter and online of people being like, I'm buying, I'm still buying, I'm dollar cost averaging, I'm buying every week, I'm buying every 2 weeks. There are people who get it. And I, golf clap for all of you out there. But I mean, if we're not seeing any substantially insane price movements, you're not going to get the everyday normal people rushing back into the market. So it's not that we aren't bullish enough. Is that, I mean, literally people need to see numbers move. Like, I don't know if you've noticed, even over the course of this year, when we went from 30 to 40,000 to 70 something thousand, I'm certain you had a lot of friends and family members who were texting you. How do I get into the market? How do I do this? How do I do so-and-so? A couple of days ago, XRP's price went up by like 8%, and I saw the movement, like really like a lot of conversation happening. A day later, the price went down by 6 or 7% because of whatever the case might have been. The like near radio silence. So until we actually get these like crazy numbers and crazy movements, and I think the main thing that people are waiting for is $100,000 Bitcoin, we're going to continue seeing skepticism and people like floating around, which is also a shame, a gigantic shame, because all the Bitcoin is being accumulated by all these very wealthy people. Annual 70% return, which is absolutely insane. He said we should be above 1 million a year and a half after the 2028 halving. Supporting Peterson's optimistic view, data shows that holding Bitcoin is 98.5% profitable throughout its existence. That's crazy. 5,096 days since Bitcoin's trading began. Holding Bitcoin has been profitable for 5,020 days. Based on the current price, it has 66,000. That was the price that they used for that metric. Since the 17th of August, 2010, when Bitcoin was priced at 7 cents. If I had a time machine, I would take you all with me. It's not even a joke. 7 cents per Bitcoin. Its value has skyrocketed by a staggering 94,999,900%. Yeah, it's miraculous, but it's also a shame. Rich people are, broken record, they're buying all the Bitcoin that there is. They're literally absorbing as much as they can. It's quite diabolical in multiple ways. I believe that rich people know where the market is going. And this kind of hush-hush thing, how they're able to accumulate as the market moves to and fro and up and down and all these other things, is quite genius. I still believe we are going to enter a world, and I think that world is forming around us. If we get to $1 million per Bitcoin by 2029, it won't be FOMO anymore that really like captures people's attention. I think we're going to see, I don't even know what it is. I can't put words to it, but I think it's going to be something quite intense that humanity's maybe not ready for. If you tell someone that you could have got something for 7 cents in 2010, and before you get to 2030, you could have been a millionaire from 7 cents, it's going to cause a lot of like mental anguish. Mental anguish is it's still about 10% of what I think is going to be happening. It's very similar. I mean, even more so for those of you who weren't here years ago. We used to also have these conversations. Ethereum was $8 at the beginning of 2017. XRP was still under 1 cent. Bitcoin, I think, was 3,000 or 4,000. So like it was also like incredibly low there as well. So part of the thing that keeps the market going is new people getting into the market. But it's also people who realized that they could have gotten into the market and could have bought more before. There's a lot of stuff in crypto that I'm currently purchasing, and I dare lightly say Web3, like Web3 light. A lot of things that I'm buying because I have a mental understanding that the prices of these things will go back up. But I think that's also going to cause so many people to because I've had it before. I've had it for multiple other asset classes. You sit there, you don't pay attention, you see the prices going down. A lot of people keep assuming that prices will continue going down or they simply won't go back up. The price goes back up and you sit there and you're like, I should have paid attention. But I think that that's going to hit this cycle kind of like a 1-2 punch, like a really, really, really strong awakening for a lot of people. The documentaries that I watch, that I keep seeing, that keep popping up on my YouTube and like the little news exposés and what have you, people financially aren't doing too hot. I don't think that's going to get statistically better anytime soon. And I think, hear me out here, this is just an idea. I think one of the main ways that people will be able to kind of get like, not even a foot ahead, like, you know, a full gigantic jump is through crypto. Like the amount of money that people have already made this year, we haven't even gotten to 2025 yet. I think it's going to make a lot of people, I don't want to use the word wealthy, but I think a lot of you out there will at least be in a position where you're going to have like six figures, mid six figures in your crypto wallets. But then everyone else will turn their heads and go, oh my gosh, I should get into the market. Do you understand what's happening right now? The only people who are probably going to really benefit, and I mean it's historic, are the people who have the assets, who have the homes, who have the lands, who have the stocks, and who now have the crypto. If Bitcoin is at $1 million in 2029, Ethereum's at $55,000 per coin. XRP's maybe at $32 per coin. Like, think of the values of all of these other coins as well. Anyway, yeah, just food for thought, crypto for thought. I'm not really sure, but everyone's predictions are aligning. Like, we're all getting the exact same numbers from all these analysts, and I'm fascinated to see what's going to take place with the movement of the markets, especially as we get closer to September. Yeah, that's the someone said it again news. And yeah, let's move on. I thought this was a joke. It's not. Fast food chain Dunkin Donuts is giving out Bitcoin to their customers in South Korea through a series of promotions in partnership with local crypto exchange BitHum. Participants can receive Bitcoin coupons to redeem for free. You get free Bitcoin by participating in promotions that are scheduled to run, that have been running from the end of July to the 8th of August, according to Dunkin's South Korea website. The giveaways there we go. Part of the chain's coffee chain's partnership with South Korea's crypto exchange, yada, yada, yada. I thought this was a joke. It's not. Apparently, for every donut you buy, you get $3.50 worth of Bitcoin. Apparently, customers who spend more than $10, you receive around, if you, it's in won. If you spend more than $5, you get $10 worth of Bitcoin. I don't know how many of you are in South Korea. I don't, how to say this in English. I would just buy a whole bunch of donuts, have like a party with all of my friends, and then like get a whole bunch of free Bitcoin. I wish other places did this. I mean, historically, over the years, we constantly get news like this from South Korea or Japan. You know how many other people around the world? Do you know how? Can you imagine if this launched in America, like in the States or in Canada? Go buy a donut, get free Bitcoin. I don't know what more to say. I found it on the website. It's real. Like this is their actual thing. That is literally the news, that they're giving away free Bitcoin. I feel like not that donuts aren't delicious, but I feel like I would just eat a whole bunch of them just to. Why don't more places do stuff like this? It's so weird. Why isn't Starbucks like buy a drink, get $4 worth of free Bitcoin? You know how many places I'd be shopping just to. I don't know. It's always weird. And they always have like limited time promotions as well. Remember that thing a couple of years ago? Is this still a thing? I have to go find it. A couple of years ago, for those of you who missed it, they had a thing in France where you could go to certain shops and they actually had like Bitcoin vouchers. It was so weird. I was in Paris for a while. And I like went to a shop, one of the shops that had them, and I was asking the guy, I was like, do you have them? He gave me like, I think it was in like denominations of 15, 20, and 50 or something like that. And I was like, why don't more places have that? It's such an odd, maybe it's something with the SEC. I honestly don't know. If you're in South Korea, Dunkin Donuts is giving away free Bitcoin for every donut you buy. So maybe go take advantage of it. Like, I don't know. That's the Dunkin Donuts free Bitcoin news. Not one of you was expecting any of those words in a video. Not one of you. Okay. Let's move on. Probably, this might be one of my top 10 news stories of the year. Easily. Hands down. I understand that the market hasn't reacted the way that a lot of people have wanted it to. And I mean that goes across the board. You can say a year and it'll be applicable. But this year in particular, I think we're seeing a new level of interestingness. I don't think that's a word, but you'll understand exactly what I'm talking about. There seems to be a new level of delusion that's floating through the cryptocurrency space in a multitude of ways. If you've been watching the news, you're pretty informed. If you've been on crypto Twitter, I would actually advise you not to go to crypto Twitter because it is probably one of the craziest things I've ever experienced in recent history or memory. People keep saying things that just aren't real, that just aren't true, that don't really line up with any level of reality. So when this news came out, I was like, this is a joke, right? Nope. Not even close. Some of your jaws will drop because you won't believe that someone said these words out loud. Charles Hoskinson, the founder of Cardano, claimed that Ethereum has appropriated, taken, and stolen Cardano's roadmap. The assertion came during Ethereum's 9th anniversary celebrations, drawing significant attention and stirring debates within the crypto community. There were no debates. Hoskinson, who was originally one of Ethereum's key founders, that's also incorrect, parted ways with the project in June 2014, that's also incorrect. Before starting Cardano, that part actually is correct. Hoskinson was not a key founder of Ethereum. Hoskinson was someone who tried to name himself the CEO of Ethereum. Vitalik Buterin came forward and said, I don't want to have any CEO. Vitalik Buterin was basically trying to make a counterpart. No. Counter's not the word. Like something that harmonizes with Bitcoin. He realized that Bitcoin was a little bit too slow. So he wanted to make another chain that would kind of fit with Bitcoin to kind of take a lot of the weight off of Bitcoin. It was originally designed as what we now know as a layer 2 solution for Bitcoin. People disagreed and said it should be its own chain. It can still help Bitcoin from the side. And that's when rumor has it, according to all the books and the history things that I've read about Cardano, they were looking for people to basically kind of fund the thing. You know, they were working with people who what's the word? They were talking to the SECs around the world, and they were looking for basically people who knew how to code. Charles Hoskinson jumped on board. It was like, cool, I'll definitely join. History goes, the rumors go, that allegedly, from all the books that I've read, that apparently Charles Hoskinson from the very beginning was a bit off-putting, so history says, and people didn't actually like him in the project at all. So he was one of the first people who came forward and said that we should actually make Ethereum a company. And they were like, no, let's not do that at all. This is eventually what formed into the Ethereum Foundation as like an actual, counterpart to Ethereum, what have you. But allegedly, rumor has it, according to history, allegedly, Charles Hoskinson was told to leave the project. I implore you even to read about this. There's a really recent one. It's from Laura Shin. She also has a really popular, I don't know if she still has it. Years ago she had it. Laura Shin, Shin. A number of years ago she had a very popular Bitcoin podcast, and she wrote something recently about the beginnings of Ethereum with like testimonials from the actual creators like of Ethereum. And apparently Hoskinson was told to leave. He didn't part ways. Like they were like, you can't be here anymore because of everything you've allegedly been doing. I think he was given, 20 or 30,000 Ether. All the original creators were, because Ether originally was a pre-mine. Yeah. So according to history, he didn't like actually do anything. He kind of just sat around allegedly. And then when they kicked him out, he said, I'm going to start my own chain, and he started Cardano. Since the very beginning, a number of chains. You can kind of, throw a dart and you'll definitely hit one. Over the last couple of years have kind of consistently claimed that everyone is stealing something from them, or someone has taken something from them. If you've been in this space since around 2017, this is exactly why this is one of my favorite stories. Explicitly one of my favorite stories. When Cardano was launched, or was pre-launching in 2017, and finally had the whole roadmap thing that rolled out in 2018. A lot of their roadmap consisted of absolute nonsense, of things that never ended up happening, and it's always been updated in some form or another every year. You might not remember, back in 2018, 2019, Cardano, they went on the road, and I think they went to Romania and a bunch of other Eastern European places. And they had all these different conferences. You can Google it. You can find it. This is why history is very important. And they had all these things, and they kept on telling people on Twitter and online they were going to announce this. We're going to have this. We're going to do this. We're going to so-and-so. And they had all these conferences, and nothing was announced. None of it. Never. Until about a year and a half later, when the market started picking back up again, and that's when they announced that they were finally going to have the upgrade, and these things still didn't launch until the bull run was actually beginning. That's why I told you all before, Cardano looks poised to actually do something. But if you keep having people in the Cardano community just literally spreading absolute lies and nonsense, they're going to get nowhere. It is Cardano's roadmap is a literal rocky road, not the ice cream. It's like a road that just has bricks everywhere. You literally can't drive over it. So you get out of your car and you can move a couple of them. You drive a little bit further and you see more bricks, and you're like, who's putting all these bricks on the road? That's what their roadmap has been like. To even think or say or even compare yourself in the slightest, which he also does coming up. He says that the reason for Ethereum's success is because they stole Cardano's roadmap and they basically implemented it first. But if Cardano had implemented it first, then Cardano would be the number 2 coin. Do you understand how happy an article like this makes me? Because it's so delusional. It's so out there. It literally doesn't make any sense. It's like me saying, yeah, I remember 2002 because I was in school, and I remember, I wrote down the letters BTC on a piece of paper and somebody stole it. I don't know what happened to it. So, me writing the letters BTC was clearly the precursor, because I remember using computers, Bitcoins on a computer. You put 2 and 2 together and tell me what you think. There's no comparison to Cardano. There's literally no comparison. The only comparison is that they're on a blockchain. The usage, the metric, the companies, the partnerships, the countries using them, the banks using them, the institutions, the layer 2 solutions, the upcoming layer 3 solutions, the amount of NFTs on Ethereum. There is literally no comparison. So to come forward, like to go public and say this out loud, it's like, what are you talking about? He remarks, he's highlighting the ongoing rivalry and competition for dominance between the two what ongoing rivalry? That's like saying I can't put it together. I can't even give you like an idea of what that could even mean. That's like saying Dogecoin is a competitor to Bitcoin. That's like saying EOS is about to overtake Ethereum. For someone to be your rival, you have to like actually like match on certain metrics. You have to be as good as them so that when you're, racing together in a competition, it's neck and neck. Who's going to do it? Hoskinson's comments were triggered by a post from Lefteris Karapetras, the founder of Rotkey app, which included a labeled picture of Ethereum's founding team. Notably absent from the list was Hoskinson, which left him to respond. He said, "I left in June of 2024. I just told you. Find the information. This is the craziest thing in the entire world. Find the information. Historically, allegedly, everything that I've read, every account has all alleged that he was let go because you need to read it. Literally, allegedly, he was, so I'll tell you part of it. Allegedly, from what I've read from Laura Shin, is that he was working with all these people, but he wasn't doing anything. They allege that he was sitting around. He was just hanging out in Switzerland. They rented a gigantic house together, and he wasn't doing anything. There was a basement to the house, and allegedly, he wanted the basement for himself. He didn't let anyone do it while everyone else was sharing beds. Allegedly, he was saying, making up all these stories about women who he had known. You know what I'm alleging, what I'm alluding to. All these other things, and this person, and this person, and that woman, and this. And then apparently, allegedly, once again, someone Googled it, and everything allegedly that he had said was not true. So they had a big round table meeting, and they were like, dude, you gotta go. Like, you can't, we looked up everything. And allegedly, once again, all the people who she spoke to, the original founders from Ethereum, they literally said they didn't tell Vitalik everything. They said because he would have been so heartbroken. The team who he formed, these are people who he trusted, or people who he had just met, or he was like, we can do this. We can make this change. This is one of the very few reasons, because Vitalik is still basically the same as he was years ago. This is why he's one of the very few people in this space who I actually trust, because he has no filter. He kind of says what he's thinking and what's on his mind. They said they didn't want to tell him everything that they had allegedly found out about Hoskinson, because it literally, he would have freaked out. Find that book. Find it right now. If I can find the name, I'm going to post it on Twitter as well so you can all read it. It's absolutely insane. Of course he wasn't on the list of founders. They told him to leave before the Ethereum had even launched, before it was even a thing. When Ethereum properly launched, they sent him coins that they had promised him in the beginning. What competition are you talking about? I just said this 2 days ago. We were just talking about this. I said, for those of you who weren't here for that video, the metrics were, one of those on-chain analytics companies came forward and they said that 91% of ADA is being held by normal people, by retail. That's an amazing metric. You want your coin to be as decentralized as possible, to be spread and sprinkled around everyone on the planet. You want normal people to have the majority of the coins. Cardano looks like it could do something. Cardano literally is poised. It is on its tippy toes. It is ready to run. All the news. Look at my other videos. All the news that we've gotten this year about Cardano has been Charles Hoskinson making a YouTube video saying something weird. Someone said on Twitter they didn't like him. He made an hour-long rant video. Someone said he didn't do so-and-so. He made another video calling that person crazy. People from the XRP community were saying like something seems to be up. Like, why is every other coin, getting regulatory clarity, but XRP and this lawsuit still hasn't ended? He made a video calling them crazy. Like, what are you talking about? It's insane. It doesn't make any sense. This project is literally like on the cusp of becoming something great. They have like pretty okay metrics. I can't wonder why no one's partnering with them. What are you talking about? What rivalry? What anything? He said, I left in June of 2014. The world has Cardano now, and Ethereum gets to borrow our roadmap. Worked out for everyone. You can't imagine my face right now. It's nearly dumbfounded. Almost to the point of like mental confusion. Ethereum didn't like properly launch until 2015, 2016. What are you talking about? They stole your roadmap. The Cardano roadmap didn't come out until 5 years later. And you still haven't even done what's on the damn roadmap. What are you talking about? Hello? Am I the only one in the room? Am I the only one like... This is literally crazy. This is like absolutely insane. You don't understand that I sit here and I go through the daily news to see like what's happening in the space. And I come across stuff like this sometimes and I'm like, no, that didn't happen. Like, and I skim over it because like, there's no way that someone said those words out loud. What? You know who did steal a roadmap? You know who did steal a white paper? Tron. Yeah, for those of you who weren't here years ago, or for those of you who don't remember why in the very beginning I was like, no one, like, don't touch that coin. It's literal garbage. People found out. Trust the people in the space. Trust the people who are coding all these things. People came forward. So the Tron roadmap came out and the Tron white paper came out. And people were looking through the Tron white paper and they were like, this sounds incredible. This sounds amazing. Oh my gosh, this is what, why does this, oh, okay, that sounds kind of familiar. Why does this so-and-so? People literally went through Tron's white paper and it was copied and pasted from Bitcoin and Ethereum. Copied and pasted. If I can find that as well, I'm also going to show it to you on Twitter. I'll post it at some point. See if you can find it on Google. Type in Tron white paper plagiarized. Entire paragraphs. Someone had marked them, not like a highlighter, but like, one was blue, one was yellow to show where they came from. Bitcoin paragraph, Ethereum paragraph, Ethereum paragraph, Bitcoin paragraph, Ethereum, Bitcoin, Ethereum, some other coin. It was literally word for word, except that they took out the word Ethereum and Bitcoin and put in Tron. I'm not joking. And I remember being like, well, this is clearly a scam. Like, something is terribly wrong with this coin. And people were like, TMI, you're so negative. You don't understand, blah, blah, blah. It's the same thing that I'm getting from Solana. And if you don't want to listen. Please have fun walking on the rocky road, bricky road by yourself. You can't be helped at this point. What exactly did Ethereum steal? Please let me know. Because it wasn't the 400 banks and companies who... If they stole your roadmap, you should have exactly what Ethereum has. You know what's crazy? Last thought. If this is what people are posting online, I can't imagine closed door conversations. Can you imagine trying to have a conversation about Cardano. Like, hey, we're thinking about partnering with you guys. Ethereum stole what we have. This is terrible. We can't do this. XRP is crazy. I'm like, okay, well, thank you for this meeting. This was a lot for me and my colleagues. We will not be in touch. This is nuts. Dude, this is completely insane. And this is happening like twice a month now. I can almost nearly assure you, I don't know the future, but I can nearly assure you, I give it the 15th to the 20th of August, we're going to have something else like this in the news. What exactly did they steal? I'm telling you, find that. Is it in... No, it's not. Is it an audiobook? It might also even be like on a podcast. Google it. Google like Laura Shin Ethereum or something like that. Like Ethereum Foundation or Ethereum starting. I forgot exactly what it is. You'll definitely come across it. It's from this year or maybe last year. It doesn't matter. Oh my gosh, like what are you talking about? It's so insane. I sincerely don't get it. And for things like this, for these projects, all you have to do is keep your head down and work. All you have to do is like make waves, but not like delusional waves. Like you make waves by saying like, we're going to have this upgrade. 6 weeks later, the upgrade rolls out. And then you go, we've been in discussions with these 2 countries and these 2 companies. They're going to start using Cardano. Doesn't it seem weird that we're not getting any Cardano partnership news and haven't gotten it in years? It makes a lot of sense now. Because all these people know each other. For those of you who weren't here years ago as well, all these people either went to the same school together, they all worked at the same companies together, and at some point, a lot of these people worked on Bitcoin, and then they moved on to like Ethereum, and then all these other, they literally all know each other. So word spreads very fast. You have all these companies who probably are going to the people from Ethereum, to Ripple, to Blockstream, and they're like, hey, like we're looking for a bunch of chains to build on top of. We were thinking about Cardano, and they're like, about that one, we have stories. That's what I was saying before. Like, why aren't there like Cardano ambassadors? Like the people who are like the ones who talk on social media. You understand what I'm saying? You talk about trying to make sure that Cardano is not a security. It's going to be deemed a security as long as you have the creator of Cardano talking stuff like this. This is what the SEC looks for. They told us years ago how they fit some of their metrics. That's why I keep saying if there's no head of the company, if there's no head of the dragon, they usually can't touch these coins. You don't have an office where they can walk into. What makes the most sense is hiring 3 to 5 people who take over their social media, who take over their Reddit page, so that it's the community running everything. If you have the creator just spouting out nonsense, the coin can't go anywhere. Oh boy. I told you. I think this coin maybe has 1 or 2 cycles left. Maybe, and I mean a gigantic maybe in the sky for 2 cycles. Something's off. Wow, I have so much more to say, but for the sake of not making this a 2-hour video, you don't even understand. I have so much more to say. I hope you all enjoyed. I hope you got something from it. I hope you go out and get a donut. This golden donut looks delicious. It's terrible because you look at it in the photos and they never look this way in real life, and it's very disappointing. That looks delicious. I do hope you've all enjoyed. I hope you all are having a great day, morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, wherever the heck you might be. I do hope it's absolutely fantastic. That was crazy. Thank you all once again for watching, listening, liking, commenting, and supporting. And I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.